Hurry, define this place or we'll be late.
Make a left on Astrology Avenue. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant right. It should be right here at 444 Spirit Way. Oh, turn!
It looks like Renee. Yay, we're on time.
The James and Kelly Show.
Great, let's start the show. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm back. How you doing? Welcome to Both Sides Now Beyond. Kelly is not here tonight because I forced her to take some time off because Kelly was overdoing things like we all do. But, astrologically, as you know, each week she talks about what's happening and stuff. And I said to her one day, Kelly, I think you're doing too many readings, and she's a giver, as you know. So, let me just do the show and take some time to rest. So she is. So I went to the show unless she rests. So I had to force her. But so I thought tonight we'd do a special. If you didn't hear about it, a special night. I know I've been away for 2 weeks. We've both been away. And I've been in Puppyland, and I've been running around with them. I just actually came from the house outside because it was they just entered doggy daycare because I thought I was going to go crazy with puppies. I didn't know what I was getting into. So let's say hello to Lisa. Hi, Lisa Rapp. Lisa Williams Hicks. Hello. Not to be mixed with Lisa Williams. Different. Janelle Plummer. Hello. How are you? Pearl. Last, we have a lot of information to go through, a lot of stuff to catch up on, a lot of news been happening. So we'll talk about all that stuff. Sarah Stone. Hello. El Mahoney. Hello. Carol Ann. Hello. A lot of you, welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with me. It's not easy getting everything together right now, as a lot of you know. It's been a difficult time, tough time. Full moon. I'm not Kelly, so I can't tell you astrology, but I know full moon is Sunday, and there's it was opposing Mars, which is the planet of battles, confrontations. There's a conflict there immediately. Major stuff there, and it's major transformational stuff. It really is. So I would not be a bit surprised if there are a lot of people that changed in life. A lot of people leaving. The queen is gone. And another queen in my world, Mavis Patilla, has passed over, who was queen in the mediumship world. I'm writing a little memorial right now about her. And she very much reminded me of the aspects that the queen had. And you check Mavis Patilla out on YouTube, and you'll see she's a very dignified lady. So her birthday's coming up the 15th, and she's come through already. So it's been very interesting. Marie Busham, hi Marie. Love Night, I remember you. Yes. Hi Scott. Good evening. September's a tough month. Yeah, September's a tough month. Hi James. Yes. Wow. Hello, Caroline Marshall. Good to see you. Yes, Mavis passed away about 2 weeks ago. And yes, I'm just reliving memories with her, about her, and things we've done together, and it's fun reliving them. So yeah, her birthday's coming the 15th. So tonight, a celebration of just this, I thought we'd have dinner together because I thought we'd do something special. So I invited people to have their dinners with me this afternoon on my soul care show. That tonight we're gonna have dinner. Inviting you to dinner. So we're having dinner here. No, I'm not a vegetarian. I'd like to be, but I think I need meat. So I have a steak, and I have pasta, or risotto, a vegetable risotto. I've never done this before, so I thought this would be a great opportunity. And I thought I would accompany it with a special glass of wine. Look, I bought these glasses back in New York probably 25 years ago. I've used them like twice. So I thought tonight would be the third time. And my ginger ale. So if you have dinner with you, or lunch, or breakfast, wherever you are in the world, please feel free. I'll be eating with you. So I don't want to be impolite, but it's supper time. So a lot's been going on, as we know, and the Queen's passing was interesting, wasn't it? That 2 days before she was welcoming the Prime Minister at the last photo op picture, and then she went 2 days after that. And I'm just not sure about her passing. I don't know. I think that I think her passing was very dignified, like she is, and I don't know what what she passed with, but I gotta say, what a dignified life, and maybe it's the same thing. And we lost Janet in a Havoc, about a month and a half ago. It was a medium from New Jersey I worked with a lot of time, a lot of portals, a lot of things moving and very much transforming. And this is a good time to remain centered and grounded in. And I said this today on my show, Soul Care, when these situations are challenges, whatever you want to say to them, opportunities. They're all opportunities. It's a great time to stop, take a breath, and just become aware of what's happening. Don't have a knee-jerk reaction. Just, okay, what's happening here? What am I learning from this opportunity? What is different now about this situation, about myself, about this world I'm living in? Then don't try to judge it. Just be aware of it. Be mindful of it. That's the best thing that I've tried. And it works. And the more you do it, the better you get at that and putting yourself in a good mindset, if you will. Healthier mindset as well. And you'll realize when you're there that there are all different types of souls out there on this earth. It definitely is a school here, and there are different levels and grades, understanding. There are baby souls who think money and greed and power is the way and ego is the way it should be. And they have like postgraduate souls who are healers and light workers, and you have the middle grade, souls too, trying to figure things out too. So that creates lots of dynamic opportunities for people. And the best way to understand all that is to know yourself. My grandmother used to say to me, and she reminded me a lot of Mavis and also the Queen, believe it or not, she was from England. She used to say to me as a little boy, and she used to love Shakespeare. She used to quote Shakespeare quite a bit. And she was a farm girl, a country girl from south of Wales, actually. And she used to say, "To thy own self be true." And it's from a Shakespeare quote. And I remember that very distinctly, very, very much. And it's helped me throughout my life. And I know what it means now. I think when you really know who you are, life is easier because no one can throw you. And how do you get to know who you are? By taking the time to listen to your stillness of your soul. There you go. Come have a bite to eat now. And I'll answer some questions. Good. So good to see you. Thank you, Tammy. Tammy, my eyes haven't changed. Although I do think my eyes have not changed, but it's funny. I went to San Jose. That's what I want to tell you guys. I was at Winchester Mystery House last week. I went there to celebrate, I guess you should say, the 100th anniversary of Sarah Winchester's passing. And I did 2 tours in the house and also 2 seances. And they went really, really well. And Sarah was the personality. Sarah was there, no doubt about it. And she kept on talking about the furniture in the room we were in. And she kept on saying, this wasn't here, that wasn't here, and this was different. And it's true because they've staged that house. And she talked about the chairs that she used to have there. She talked about a piano used to be there. And it was very fun. And she was, again, another dignified lady. So that's very interesting. Sarah Winchester. So everybody that went to that last week, I want to thank you because a lot of people here that are on the computer here that are on this show and also see me on Monday as Soul Care, you've attended, a lot of you and a lot of my students. So thank you everybody for those who came from my school and from here. Hi, Susie Everett from Thousand Oaks. How's the weather? It's cooled down a little bit. You guys have been very, very hot in California. Really hot for us. I'm in San Diego, and I've never experienced the heat. Actually, in California, I've been in California close to 35 years, maybe 30-something years. I've never experienced the heat like we've had here, and the humidity, which we're not used to. I feel like I was back in New York. So if you want to ask questions, you can, and I'll start enjoying my appetizer, which is actually my supper, my dinner with you. Okay, let's see. Witchy Elizabeth. Hi, Witchy Elizabeth. Michelle Lee. Well, a lot of people come in, send my friend requests. How to get an aura reading, love. I don't know what that means, but I do readings once a month. I do, it's on Zoom, it's like this. And I do what's called a demonstration. I demonstrate evidence of life after death. And it's the people have asked the veil getting thinner and thinner. Well, yes, around harvest time, fall time, there seems to be a closeness between the worlds. And I also was Gordon Smith was here, so I worked with the medium Gordon Smith in Scotland, my brother from another mother, and we wore kilts. And it was an incredible demonstration, probably one of the best I've ever done. And he was just incredible. He's a great partner there to work with. And we're going to do some more stuff together. So that was fun. I did that as well. And I did a workshop. And now in October, it's very busy because Lynn Probert from England, my friend Lynn Probert, is coming over to do a 5-day workshop with me here in Carlsbad, actually, California, for 5 days. And we're going to do also a demonstration. So that's on my website if you want to go to that. Lynn's great. I'm going to say the New York thing. She's a pisser and a half, which means fine. So, okay, if you have a question, yes. Donna, I don't do readings here, Donna Matters. I'm not doing readings on this. I do readings on a night of, it's on the website of when that happens. It's a demonstration. Evening of Spirit, it's called. So that's the night I do the readings for. This is really just an informal gathering of people, and we talk about all different types of situations, life experiences, and different topics. So that's what we do. And there's a mirror vase. A lot of people coming in quickly, so I'll try to get this and help Renee out. Hi, James. I was wondering if you could speak more about pendulum use. I use it for dream interpretation and it has been great, but sometimes the energy seems often unclear. I believe that it's our higher self coming through, but others believe other energies can come through. Also, would you recommend talking to loved ones through the pendulum use? Oh, got it, Renee. Thank you. For Renee scrolling through everything. Could you share your thoughts and guidance? Thank you. Sure, Mir, I will. And again, this is my experience with pendulums, and as limited as it is, because I'm not, it's a tool. It's a divining tool, which is tuning into the knowingness in ourselves. I used it maybe 10, 11, 10, 20 times. I don't know. I think pendulum is fine if you're really aware. There's a certain way to hold it, put it over the finger, and first you'd establish or yes or no answers. It's like the Ouija board. And it's just really, that's the way I would do it. I don't like to use it personally because I think the conscious mind get in the way. I really think the conscious mind gets in the way. I would rather do it through my own feelings, so clairsentience, which is your knowingness, your intuition. Intuition is the voice of the soul. So it's learning to speak with that soul. But it's a tool, just like a crystal ball is a tool. Scrying water, looking at water, holding an object, which is psychometry, that's tuning to the energy of the object. So sometimes I think it's us getting out of the way. I think that's talking to us, but I think it's just our own intuition speaking to us. So there are different ways different methods, if you will, depending on who you are and your skill set as well. But try different things out. Just don't stick to a pendulum. I try the Ouija board as well. The Ouija board is a great tool as well. So is astrology. So is aura reading. There's all different types of tuning in. It's always the intention behind it. So people think the Ouija board, ooh, it's evil, it's scary. Not necessarily. That's what you've heard and religious backgrounds, but everything done with an intention behind it should be of love and the highest vibration, and you'll be fine. But if used wrongly, as anything in life, it can be detrimental. Anything in life, even words that we say, even thoughts that we have can be detrimental. You might not see how they can cut. Thoughts can cut and hurt people, but they do, and constantly. And just think of all the thoughts that are out there. Now, there's a war going on right now in Ukraine, as you know. That's bad, because killing people, bad. We're not here to kill people. We're here to just the opposite, to bring people up and help them grow and expand, not to destroy life, but encourage life. So anything that destroys life is bad. So remember, it's all about love. That's all life is love. Life, like love, as Dave would say, continues on. And fear is a human emotion. It's not of the spirit. It's totally of human. So fear is FEAR, false ego appearing real. Remember that one. Okay. Miran, hi, Miran Daly. How do you see auras? Well, how I personally do, because it might be different for each person, of course, I interpret the feelings, the energy, and clairvoyantly, I'll see or sense. I sense the energy first, and then very clearly, I'll get an image of greens or purples or yellows, and different people have, of course, different envelope of colors around them. I find that the more loving the individual, the more the auric field, that magnetic energy field around them, is expanded. Yeah. That's what I find for me. That's how I sense it. I also sense energy, just like if you guys want to, we've done this before, but if you take your palms and you hold them like this, facing each other, and if you close your eyes, it's great exercise. And you close your eyes, just tune into, become aware, let your mind go in between the palms, in the middle of the palms, and begin very, very slowly to become aware of slowly putting your palms closer together. And you begin to feel a magnetic kind of a pull or push and pull, like an accordion. And do it very slowly and very subtly. And that is energy. That's what energy feels like. You can make energy ball. And the closer you get, the more you feel it. And that energy is really coming out of everywhere. It's all around us. It's through us and around us. That's who we are. We're energy. This meat suit, this physical body, is merely an illusion. So really, we're energy, and we're compacted energy in this meat suit. But that's not who we are. So at the end of our time here, when we graduate, the meat suit drops off, and our light shines on. We go to a higher vibration of frequency. We go back home with the energy world, the mental world. Okay. Is Halloween Eve the best time to speak from past? Bruce, good question. Good to see you, Bruce. Again, the veil is closer, thinner, as they say. So the worlds, really, if you will, they blend closer at that time. It seems that all the seasons, there is definitely a connection with the seasons of time. And that seems at that time that the veil is the thinnest. I've had some very clear, for me personally as a medium, I've had clearer communications at that time of the year, in the harvest time, than at other times. But saying that, I've also had some incredible communications. Like 2 weeks ago with Gordon, there was some incredible communications we had. One I'll share with you. There was a communication I started with about 400, 500 people in the audience. And this girl came through, sandy-haired girl. And I said, there's a girl here, her mother's in the audience, and you're wearing your daughter's bracelet on your left wrist, I believe it was. And I said, it was something about, you have a picture of her with you. And she said, yes. I said, I think it's a pocket. And she goes, no, it's my bra. Said, okay, well, there you go. Anyway, she was describing this girl. And I said, this was abuse, overdose of kind. She said, yes. And suddenly I saw my friend Nancy, who had a son who was an addict, and he lived under freeways. And I saw that image in my mind's eye. I saw it very clearly. So I described that, and Spirit gave me that as a reference. In my mind, I have that reference because of Nancy's experience. And I said, this girl lived under the freeways. She was a drug user and under the freeways. And I said, I feel like it was a lost cause. And the mother understood that. And the girl came through beautifully. It was a good connection. Well, then 2 days later, I was talking to my friend Nancy on the phone, and I mentioned that to her. I said, because of your experience that you shared with me about your son, who was an addict living under freeways and so forth, that vision came to me. And I want to thank you for giving that reference. And I told her the story, and Nancy said to me, I know that girl you're talking about. I said, you know the girl I'm talking about? She said, yes, I used to go after my son, Ben, all the time. I used to bring nutrition bars for the people that were there under the freeways and on the streets there who were drug addicts to give them some nutrition. She used to go under the freeway and give them. And this girl, she said, was with a partner, this guy, and they opened up this fence for Nancy to crawl through to find Ben. Isn't that interesting? It was the same girl. What are the odds of that? So full circles, amazing. And it's the intelligence of that world which always humbles me, and it just amazes me, and that's why I continue doing the work I do, because there's so much there, and boy, it's beautiful. Okay, good story. Christine, hi Christine. Hi James. Hi. I was visiting my newest grandson. Congratulations. As I looked into his eyes, this is a real weird one. As I looked in his eyes, they looked so familiar. I said, Uncle Bob, is that you? I heard him say, you got it, baby. I asked if it was for real, and I heard him laugh. Was I wishful thinking or on the target? I think you're totally on target. So, Christine, this is a really great question. Now, again, here goes the intelligence of the spirit world. Here's an example right here. So, I do believe that there's aspects of a soul, which are fragments of a soul. We're so much more than just this body. So, as a soul, 70% or 65% of the soul is outside the body. Only a small percentage is intact in this body, 20%, 30%. So most of the soul is outside. And when you're outside of the body, there's no time. And you could be as a soul in several places at once. There are different parts of us. So I 100% believe that your Uncle Bob, part of your Uncle Bob's soul was in the baby. No doubt about it. Because we also work through lineage and families, and we stay connected in those different aspects. So no doubt about it. I believe that. Now, full circle moment here again. Here you go. The intelligence of the spirit world. Nancy, my friend I was just talking to you about, her son Ben, who became the drug addict. you're freaking me out. When he was born 40 years ago, I was the first person to hold him in human hands, besides Nancy. I'm at the hospital. I was holding him, and I looked into his eyes, and I said, "It's part of your father is here." And there's your question. And I just thought about Nancy. I need a drink. Cheers. Very good, Christine. Wow. Dawn, hi, James. How or what would you recommend a new psychic learn? How to use their gifts. Well, that's why I created the JVP School of Mystical Arts. So I created an online school. I'm going to say it's best in the world for an online metaphysical. There it is, JVP School of Mystical Arts. I worked really, really hard at creating this and being very, very conscious of what I put out to the world, because you have to be. For me, I live by everything I teach, and to me, I would know no other way. And I say, go on that school. And this is Psychic Portals course. It's a beginning psychic certification course, and all of the important aspects of developing your intuition is there. Whether it's grounding, whether it's a sense of self, whether it's a sense of thoughts, mindfulness. It's a whole array, a treasure chest, really. Over 60 videos and lessons, and once you have it, you can go back and use them over and over again, which I suggest too. It's a good way to have it. You have to have a very strong foundation. And again, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier, which is, what is your intention behind it? So what is your intention to develop yourself psychically? Well, I would think, as we all should in this lifetime, to develop our soul self, to develop our awareness, to develop a deeper sense of compassion and empathy and connection to one another, because we are each divine. We're the divine oneness. And that is what I think you should develop your psychic or intuition, your soul self, intuition into the soul's voice. So you get to know yourself better by developing your intuition. That's the most important thing. Knowing to thy own self be true, knowing who you are. A friend of mine was over yesterday for dinner. It seems like it's a theme dinner, right? And she actually made lunch. She's a restaurant in San Diego, and she's a lovely lady. Don't see her that often, but she came over and we spoke and had a lovely time. And she said, James, what got me through my family. She has a European family. She's from Europe. And she said, they don't really get me per se, but I know who I am. She said, I know who I am. And that has gotten me through my life, knowing who I am. The truest words I've ever heard. Know to thy own self be true. It's really know who you are. And nobody knows you better than you know yourself. And nobody can love you more than you can love yourself. So don't go outside yourself to look for love. Look inside yourself. So I would say, sweetheart, go to the school and check out everyone. And check out some classes, see what resonates. If it's your time to develop these things, why are you developing these things? What is your agenda? Where do you see yourself in 5 years and 10 years? Are you serving humankind? Because that is really what it's about. It's service. We do this work for service, to help another soul, to open them up, perhaps. Can't force them to open up. You just plant the seeds and let them grow. That's really what we have to do. And we can't attach ourselves to the outcome. We really are just really important about putting the seeds and let them fertilize them with love and empathy and see what happens. That's all we can do. Okay. New comments. My goodness, everything's happening so fast. Do you guys feel like everything's so speeding up? I think things have sped up so much. I really do. I said to a friend of mine, like last year, I said, I feel like I'm in a teacup ride at Disneyland, going around and around, and I want to get off because I'm queasy. I said, but now I feel like the teacup is emptied out and all the contents are falling down so quick. So things have sped up. Okay, Kelly. Hi, Kelly Fielding. Do you believe the theory of one comes in and one? Do you believe the theory of one comes in and one goes out? I think that's limiting God. I think that's limiting the divine. So that's very human, because humans are about limitation. Come in, go out. I think it's all one. I think when you realize there is no sense of time, we're outside of time. When we leave this physical vibration, this physical dimension, we're outside of time. So that has a whole new meaning to it, doesn't it? And those who have, now even Mavis, my friend Mavis, who passed, I told you, the medium, who really was an incredible tutor of mediumship. And you should go on YouTube and check. And Mavis said, she spoke very, very nicely and very well, and real ladylike. And I was always curious that what would her experience be like. And I've had other friends that passed over who were very spiritual, and spiritualism was their religion, if you will, their belief system, what it would be like. And Mavis came back clearly, and she said it was really quite amazing. She said it was the ministry came to get me. And she said, James, it was ministries. I don't know what that means. It said ministries. And she said, all from different realms and places. And I knew that the words that she was using in my mind, giving words, were limiting. I knew that they were really limiting words because the meaning was much more than the words that she was able to use from my feeble brain, for the human brain. But I knew that there were beings from all different realms. And then she said, it was very interesting. What I was aware of was that people came to gathered before her to greet her for the gathering of her arrival. And there were many families of people that she had helped while she was on the earth, in the physical body. She had helped all of these souls, and they all came to greet her. I think that's fabulous. It's a wonderful, fabulous thing. And then she said later on she was going to go to a hall of poetry. And I asked her partner, Jean, about that. She said, she used to love poems and poetry. I said, well, she's doing that. And I felt when she came through that there was, again, it was timeless. There was no time about it. That you come, you just are, if you will. So that's the best way to answer that, Kelly. Good to see you, Kelly. Okay. Hi, Renee. Very nice. Oh, you have a new picture. Okay. Very good. Good to be with you. Please, a question. Do animals experience astrological events like retrograde? Have you noticed it with your own dog, Miss Kelly? Yes. Yes, I definitely do. Because if you think about it, Renee, that there's consciousness, there's an awareness. So every living thing has an awareness, a consciousness, and that there's a force, if you will, we want a gravitational force or pull or push, that these planets, or they do affect us because we're mostly made of water. Same with animals and life plants as well. So there'll be some external influences, which is the planets, and it will shift, and they'll feel that. The way they handle it might be very different than the human. The human seems to kind of freak out and just like live in fear. Animals, again, don't know. They know fear, but not like humans do. Humans let it control them. The animals are very different. I find that with my own personal experience with animals, with doggies, but I worked with a lot of animals, and everything's more sensitive and highly aware. And I just over and over again get a sense with animals. They don't understand how humans treat one another so badly. They don't understand it. That's what I got. Okay, good to see you, Renee. You know what, Jennifer, before you answer your question, I'm going to go to Kelly McBride. I see Kelly. Do you believe earthbound spirits show themselves to us? Well, hold on, I just lost you here. Renee, can you find Kelly? If you don't mind. There we are. Do you believe earthbound spirits show themselves to us, or are we able to see them ourselves without them choosing to be seen or not? Kelly McBride. Kelly, good question. I want to answer that because a lot of people want to hear about earthbound spirits. Now, what are earthbound spirits? Is there really such a thing? I'm always learning too. I learn every day. And there's a time where I believe there were earthbound spirits per se. But things have changed slightly. And I just yesterday had this thought about earthbound spirits. I do believe it's a mindset. So there we go. Thank you, Renee. I believe, where is your mind? So if your mind is stuck in a certain mindset, that maybe if you didn't live a good life, so you're going to burn. If you go to that light, you're going to burn in hell. That's your mindset. That's a fear mindset. That's possible. The conditions of your mind is very important when you pass. The one that Earthbound, Gordon Smith, a good friend I just worked with, said, someone asked that question about Earthbound. He goes, you can't die for the love of you. You can't live or die for it. The ones that are earthbound are us here on this earth. We're the ones that are bound to this earth because we're in the physical body. They're free. They're not. They are free. We're the earthbound spirits. And why would someone want to stay around this vibration when there's beautiful joy, love, and great times in the other worlds? So I do believe that's a very human thing. There could be a soul memory because there's no time. There may be some emotional connection to a past experience, like, for instance, a different war, civil war, world wars. I think there could be an emotional connection. It could also be fragmented, stuck in that time, space and time. Possibility. It's so possible. But the majority of souls, the body, I think, are in the spirit world. And there are those in the spirit world who come to greet them. But again, it depends on what someone's belief system is. So a testimony of light by Helen Greer is a good book about that. Anyway, there you go, Kelly. I wanted to answer that. Amber. Hi, James. I have a friend that doesn't believe in free will. That's her choice. That's her free will. I can't think of a good example to tell her so that she will believe. It's not your job to make her believe, Amber. It just isn't. Just live your life and let it be the example to her. I really enjoyed your event with Gordon. It was nice meeting you. Oh, great, Amber. You were there. It was lovely. Yeah, like I said, you cannot force somebody. Everybody, life is a series of choices, and you could use that example that I use all the time. Life is a series of choices, and this maybe your friend can go back to and look at. And again, none of us can force anybody else because that's not our job. We just be the example. But what I like to use is that, if you look back at your life, you can say to your friend, you go back to your life when you first were born to your, we're at present day, and look at all the situations that you had. So life is a series of choices. And if you look back and see, it's a complete series of choices. All choices are based upon two things, either love or fear. And it's a very simple analogy. It's a simple example because it's true. It's love or fear. Maybe the choice was made because you care what other people think of you. You wanted to be accepted by other people. You want to look good for your family. You want whatever it might be, whatever illusion you're telling yourself. That's fear-based. But he did something from the passion, from love of it. That's the true self. And you could ask your friend to look at it that way if you want to. I found that there's an opening there. I found that in the past with other people, there's an opening because it's not threatening to them. It's just pointing things out. And the response I've had most of the time is, wow, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. I never thought of it that way. That's a good one. So try that out, Amber. And I'm glad you were there with the Gordon Smith event. It was wonderful. Glad you were a part of it. It's an evening I tell people that will never happen again in this life. I don't think. I mean, we'll work together again for sure. But maybe we were in kilts, so maybe that's what it was. But it was such an incredible experience. It seemed like everything came together to create that evening. So thank you for being part of it, Amber. Appreciate that. I'm going to have a bite to eat now because we're having dinner together. I didn't even see this one. Hi, James, your food is going to get cold. Thank you, Psychic. That's how this works. Shar Downey Jr. Hi, Shar. James, do you think our spirit guides are the same ones that are higher dimensional beings, i.e. terrestrial beings, Hi from Winnipeg? Shar, why not? Why couldn't they be from all different realms and spaces and places? As Mavis said when she first passed over, excuse me, I don't want to eat in front of people, but she gave me the sense, and I got to say sense because remember that when we pass over, we're in a different dimension, right? So again, the laws of that dimension don't necessarily work well in this three-dimensional world. I often say it's like sitting or going to an 8-foot pool, and you want to sit down at the bottom of the pool, but eventually you have to go back to the top to get some air because that's not your natural vibration. Same thing with the spirit world. When they send thoughts to us and they try to dumb it down for us and slow it down to us, it's not necessarily how they experience it. But Maybe said there were beings, if you want to call them beings, that were there from other space and places and levels. So I think we're all from different levels. I think part of us probably here are people called extraterrestrials. We're star children. Most of us here are star children, whatever that means. So I do believe, and I believe your guides change. I believe they have work to do with us. We have work to do with them. So it goes back and forth. Good to see you, Shar. Kate. Hi, Kate. How can you tell the difference between your intuition and your guide speaking to you? By knowing yourself. By learning to have a good relationship with who you are, your soul self. Getting to know your soul self. Let your soul speak to you. My soul and I. Let your soul talk to you. Listen to your soul. You'll understand yourself better. And I often say, Kate, that the best way to do that, I put this at my school all the time, is to sit in the silence of your being, your stillness of your being, sitting in a room, in a quiet room, quieting yourself, and listening to your soul speak to you. Just listening, getting out of the head into your heart. And it takes a little while. It takes a little while, but you'll feel so enriched, and you get to know that little voice within. And my good friend Marilyn Wall, who might be watching, Marilyn, said that, the stillness is very loud. The silence is very loud. It's very true. It's very loud. And it's so expanding and evolving. It's like an onion, the skin of an onion peeling off, and a lot is revealed. With your guides, for me, my experience with guides can be loved ones who passed over. Guides can be from another space. It to me is more energetic. It's not like humans like names of things. To me, it's an energy you feel. So you'll feel a philosophy, an inspiration. You'll feel a healing energy. It's different for each person, but that's how I kind of work with those energies really. Hi, Kimberly. Good to see you again. We just moved to a new home, and every night in our living room, we are seeing various types of light and anomalies, large orbs and comet-like flying objects. Cool. On our camera after we go to bed, wondering what they might be. It could be, Kimberly, that you're in a vortex of some kind, or a portal of some kind, an opening, if you will, to dimensions. That's what it sounds like to me. It'd be very interesting to find out the history of the space that you're in. Might be a sacred burial ground. It might be a special place there. It sounds like it is. So a lot of psychic phenomena. Also, by the way, the inhabitants of the place, yourself, your family, very, very psychic energy, and that draws even more. It's not a negative thing. It's just, it could be an opening. So I'd be very curious, and maybe you can look this up and get back to us about this in the future, about what the history is of that space that you're in, the house or the land that it sits on. That'd be very interesting. And get it on camera, sure. Julie, hi, Julie. Eckers, hi, James. Is it possible to have been a medium and then somehow it goes away? How, why would, or could it go away? Well, Julie, it just because you're a medium doesn't mean that you don't have to work and develop that and stay with that. So I learn every day. I'm learning every day. I'm developing every day. So there's got to be what really is in the foremost importance in your mind. What is your mindset like? Is your mind on something else distracting you all the time? Is mediumship the way it is? I find that a medium, it's a life of service. It's a life. It's a dedication. You're dedicated to doing it. It's not something you do every once in a while. You do it every day. Whether you're giving messages out, or you're sitting in the silence, or you're serving someone, you're really working medium. You're a living medium. You're working every single day. You're a medium. It's like when I was a young child, and I know from past lives as well, I definitely had lifetimes in religious ministries, so forth, organizational religions, you name it, I was there. And I think that led me into this work as a medium, because I was going to be a priest. When I was 14 years of age, I went to a seminary, a preparatory seminary, to become a priest, because I knew my mother wanted that. So there you go. So I lived that too. Wanted her to be proud of me. But I will say it is there that I learned, or I became aware that God was all around us. That there wasn't a figure with a beard, that we are God. Every one of us is God. And God is everything around all of us, all around things. It's all made of that permeates the energy. That's God, the divine source, if you will. So I think that in a mediumship way, again, what is your intention behind the work as a medium? And are you willing to be of service all the time? And is the foremost thought in your mind of being of service, how can I help? That's the most important thing. So it doesn't go away. The spirit world is always around us. They always are there to show up, but do we show up? Do we show up? Do we show up? That's what we should ask ourselves. I think that deserves a little bit of a sip. I forgot what wine tastes like. Good. Allison, James, what is the best way to increase your vibrational energy? Allison, again, check out my school if you haven't yet. But it's just like what I just was talking about, sweetheart. It's your mindset. It's sitting in the stillness of your being. It's working from your soul self. It's raising that sense of vibration, of the power of your divine self. It's having the relationship with your divine self. We can call it your higher self if you want to. It's bringing that higher sense of our being down into the physical. So that faster vibration, if you will, that quickness, the quickening, as they refer to it, the quickening, that pure love energy, bringing it down to the physical limited body, this vibration, and really using that love. And really, to me, it's having that mindset all the time. It's living in the moment. It's not living in the past. The past has already happened. The future is yet to be. So it's really being mindful of this moment now, living in the moment, because that's all we have. You only have this moment right now. What are you going to do with this moment? When you pass, I talked about this in soul care today. What do you believe when your life review, when you pass over, you look back at your life and you look at the moments that you had, that you created, that were given to you. What do you do with those moments? Is the world a better place because of you living in that moment, what you did with that moment, of what you created, or is it worse off? You will want to make sure at the end of your days, you can look back at your life and you can say, wow, the earth is a better place because I stood on it, as I walked amongst it, and I made it a better place. And that is living a life from your heart space, not in your head, because the head will get you mixed up. It's conflicting. It's, there's too much, there's limitations because the human mind creates things, good and bad. It creates the worst of things or the best of things. It's how you use it. But the heart space is love. That's your soul vibration. So it's seeing love in all things. Hard. And again, I'm going to go back to this. There are souls that are limited. There are souls that are not aware what they're doing with the energy they're sending. I feel like Obama's coming in because I just sounded like him. What they're putting out there, what they're creating in the world. If one could see the thoughts from someone, let's say someone just sitting in front of you, and you see all these thoughts coming out, it's pretty incredible. You'll see colors, you'll see fragments, you'll see shapes, and the more positive, more loving that these thoughts are, the vibration, the beauty is incredible. Intensity is beautiful. The fear, if it's fear and limited, afraid, it's close to the body, and the thoughts are darker, not formed as well, lackluster. So it's very interesting. And just think, we are all thoughts. That's all we are made of. So in this world, I wrote about this in my first book, Talking to Heaven. We walk in a sea of thought because people have thoughts every day. And being sensitive people, there's a chapter I have called The Velcro Suit in Talking to Heaven. And it's very, very true. As sensitives, a lot of those thoughts will stick to us. And remember that like attracts like. So what is your frequency? What is the vibration that you're sending out? Is it one of love or is it one of fear? Because it's of love, then you'll attract love into your life. If it's one of fear, you'll attract limitation and fear into your life. Fear is limiting. Love is everlasting. I hope that helps, Allison. Yes, I'm going to have a little bit of bite to eat. That's right. Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you. I've noticed a lot of people are having vivid dreams, very much so. Right now, anything special about this time of the year for dreaming? Again, it's closer to the veil is thinner, and it's also, and astrologically, there's more of a transformational time right now. We took about portals before. It's openings all around us, so that could be it as well. So lots of factors involved in that. There's also, if you would think about it, here we go again. Think the word think. People retain more of their experiences in that sleep state. So they remember, they have the conscious state, they remember the dreaming, they're having more dreams. I find there are periods, again, for me, my experience is there seems to be periods of dreams, like seasons of dreaming, of types of dreams. There might be some times where I'm very mental, the dreams are very mental, and I'm working on the mental parts of myself, the brain, what's going on in my personal life. Then there are other things that are symbolic about myself, and then I think about the future, and then they're about relationships, and then there's some very weird dreams, and I don't know what that is, but working things out, a lot of chemistry in the brain too. So all different types of dreaming. But yes, I have heard that, Jennifer, a lot more dreaming right now. Very true. Okay. Colleen, hi, Colleen. My daughter-in-law is about 34 weeks pregnant. Congratulations. Is about to connect with it, so that baby spirit before. Sure, Colleen. So actually, there used to be a lady, I believe, it was called the Baby Whisperer, I think it was, and used to do that. But there's no reason why you cannot speak to that soul before it comes into the body. So a soul, and it's very interesting. A friend of mine is 4 months pregnant, and I said to her, play music, welcome that soul in, because the soul's all around the mom all the time. And it goes in and checks out the body and then goes out. It seems that the 8th month, 9th month, it stays more connected, doesn't really like to, because we're free. That's who we are. We're souls that are free, and we're not limited. But the physical vibration is limiting. So I find, and that's through also the book called Life Before Life, a book with Melvin Morse, a bunch of different things. They talk about books. They talk about how that soul likes the freedom and that it feels very strange to be in a limited way. And they say that probably around the ninth month, it stays more connected, or eighth to ninth month. And there's a telepathic connection with the mother. So, and I've expressed this myself with a regression that I had. I remember I was sending thoughts to my mother, but don't smoke, because in the 50s they smoked. And it's hurting us. Remember, it's hurting us. And it's remember, toxic. It's hurting us. I remember that was a clear connection. So they have a telepathic connection. And probably the ninth month when they're born, in the physical body, they're in the body, but they tend to leave. They go in and out still. After they're born, they leave out of the crown of the head, the soft spot, right? Less they develop. They leave out of the crown. They come in, they go out. And probably the 10th month, middle of the 10th month, depends, that they stay more in the physical. They stay more in the physical because then they become more aware and they have to be in the physical body then. So, but you can definitely communicate with that soul right now. No reason you can't. And write things down about what that soul tells you. Maybe you can ask them about their future. What does their future look like? What important moments or destiny points will you experience when you're in the physical? Something like that. Have fun with it. Experience it. Have a good time with it. No reason why you shouldn't. Very good. Congratulations. Hi, Lori. Lori Delaneva Sherbrooke. Okay. I'm in your school doing the intuition course right now. Good girl. My question to you, James, is we have to close our eyes after grounding and pick up a paintbrush and let spirit draw whatever comes through. Yes, this is one of like hundreds of examples of the stuff they brought through to me. So let me repeat this. I'm in your school doing the intuition course, right? My question for you is we have to close our eyes after grounding and pick up a paintbrush and let spirit draw whatever comes through, and also letters from the alphabet to get a message. I feel like there's something right there, but I can't get anything to come through. It's there, but I feel maybe like I'm blocked. Help. You're blocked. So that, Lori, is a prime example of you're in your head. You're overthinking it. Whenever you do intuitive work, so I think you're in the mediumship course, if that's an exercise. That's a mediumship exercise. But either way, it's your knowingness. So you're overthinking it. Again, you have to be in your heart, not your head. So go with your feeling. Don't think about it. It's hard. It's reprogramming us, because think about it. Again, that phrase. As we come into the body as babies, we grow as toddlers and so forth, we're constantly programmed, because toddlers, young children, are open, are joyful, are free, have imagination, they play games, wonderful. And then around the age of 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, they start to get programmed by the adults, teachers, parents. You have to do this in order to succeed, or interpreting it as a child might, that in order to receive love, you have to do A, B, and C. And I think that's what happens to a lot of souls. And they probably get to middle age and they're like, oh, something doesn't feel right, because they're trying to please somebody else, not themselves. I think that's what happens. So the more you can let go of the head and let go of the control, because Lori, you're a control freak, as most people are here on this page, probably. We're all a bit of a control freaks, right? And the most important thing to remember is that you can't control the people. You can't control situations. They're going to happen. That's part of life. What you can control is how you respond to things. You probably heard me talk about that in the course. It's so true. So the moment you let go of control, you'll get things very easy, because your soul speaks to you all the time. Again, your soul will speak to you. Are you listening? And the right way to listen is to be in the silence of your being. Go to your heart, not your head. Yeah. Good, Lori. Hope it helps. I'm going to have another call soon, too. So make sure you pay attention to your emails. Okay. Thanks, Lori. Good to see you. Susan. Hi, Susan. What do you personally do to ground yourself, psychically protect yourself? I don't protect yourself. Okay, so Susan, good question. And I think it's a very important one. What do you personally do to ground yourself, psychically protect yourself before you go to a public place, please? So saying protect, the word protect means you're afraid, you're fearful, right? So you're fearful of that space. So that's putting that fear out there. What's there to be afraid of? There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. Not unless you want to give up who you are. It is what it is. That's all it is. I never really would say protect myself. No, but I'm very aware of my mind. I'm grounded myself. I meditate, if you will. I'm very aware of who I am. I get more aware of my energetic self. I become aware of this, and I bring a thought of love to a place I go to. in a public place, let's go to a store, I don't prefer it. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or because of COVID, I stayed in more. But I prefer being in solitude. I like it a lot. And with my doggies, I love it. My garden, love it. That to me is heaven. A lot of people, for me personally, I don't feel comfortable with a lot of people because I've probably been through so many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people from all over that I've done that. But it doesn't scare me. I don't get fearful. So again, the more you know yourself and love yourself, there's nothing to be afraid of. Thanks, sweetheart. Oh, yes. I should mention this, shouldn't I? Thank you, Renee. What is the Spiritual Healer Certification course? It's a special one I'm doing, and it's a month-long online, as you can see, your learning experiences. It starts Wednesday, September 21st. I'm doing 4 live calls on this. And it's very different than I did 2 years ago when I brought the course out. I'm doing something different. So it'll be an interesting course. We'll learn about color, using color for different healings, different types of healing, different sound healing, different types of things. So please check that out, the Spiritual Healer Certification course. It's going to be great. So I hope you can join me for that. And that is call number 1 is September 21st. As you can see, Wednesday, September 21st. That's the first one. And it's going to be a very interesting experience for everyone. I think everybody is a healer to a degree if they allow themselves to be in that healing, that light, that sense of being used for the higher purpose. So get in tune with your higher self. That's really what healing is bringing into the physical vibration, the higher levels of self, and bringing balance to yourself. And bringing, again, there we go. It's so incredible. Living in love, not fear. That's like Susan, what we were talking about, Susan. Living in a sense of love and bringing that energy to the spaces around you to heal the spaces that you're living in. I've used some of these techniques for houses I've lived in and got rid of other. I used to clear houses. I swear to you, I used to clear houses. I remember when there was Beverly Hills, I cleared a house. I was brought in there to clear a house of some negative energy. And what it was some of the negative thoughts. And as I was bringing this healing energy in, it was really interesting because I was getting this sense of it was owned by a mob figure. And it was a sense that I said, people have been dying here, contractors. And I said, oh, yes, we can't hold on to contractors. They keep on passing away, falling off the roof, falling down. I said, well, it's this negative energy. And it ended up being that it was a place where they used to not gamble, but it used to be a place where they would hide bodies, but mob hits. There were mob hits. We found that out. So cleared up that space. And after that, they tore down this house, rebuilt it with this new energy, and they've lived an incredible life. It was quite the opposite. And it was really by really working with that healing energy. And it's different than Reiki. So I'm going to cover all that in the course. So if you're interested in these experiences and a lot more, September 21st, the first call of 4. And some special things I'm surprised I'm going to say out loud here yet, but the different types of things are going to happen. So I hope you'll join me for that. And I think time has passed by, so I want to thank you all. My supper, my dinner is cold, which is fine. And thank you, everybody, for joining me. And Kelly, I hope you're resting. Kelly, she's probably watching this. And I wanted to give you some time off because she works too much. Everybody should have moderation in their lives, everyone, including me with 2 doggies. I got to check on my puppies, and they're in doggy daycare right now, which is really good. So thank you, everybody. And please stay healthy and happy and loving. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kelly White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean left.
The James and Kelly Show.